We've all heard the old joke, how many people does it take to change a light bulb? We at Shakti determined that it needs a team, it needs a strategy, and it needs a lot of determination, and overall an overarching vision. In 2012, we asked ourselves, how can we convert the country to LED bulb usage? With 1.2 billion people, we used a lot of light bulbs. And with our growing population, increasing levels of energy access, improving economic levels of development, and the move towards urbanization, we expected this number to continue to increase. It was estimated that almost 25% of the world's electricity goes towards lighting. Most people in India still use the incandescent bulb. Most of us are familiar with this. Thomas Alva Edison invented this or patented this in the 1870s, and technology had changed very little over time. Essentially, a filament through which electricity passed and which glowed. Those of you who remember having touched one of these bulbs soon after it switched off recall how hot it can get. And therein lay the essential problem with its efficiency. Almost 90% of the energy that went into lighting the bulb actually was wasted as heat, and only 10% translated into light. There lay the LED bulb's essential advantage from an efficiency point of view, because most of the energy in an LED bulb was translated into light. Recognizing the importance of LED lighting technology, the Nobel Committee awarded its 2014 Prize for Physics to a group of researchers who had developed and made advancements in LED lighting. It is worth remembering that an LED bulb rated 7 watts generates as much light as an incandescent bulb rated 60 watts, and that CFL bulbs consume twice as much electricity as their equivalents in LED. So the logic was clear, but what was the problem? The problem was cost. In 2012, when we started this exercises, the average incandescent bulb cost maybe 20 rupees, while the LED bulb cost 1,000, which was a huge difference in price. This was because the LED bulbs were all imported and there was no local manufacturing activity, given the low levels of demand. So what was the solution going to be? We determined that the solution lay in demand aggregation. We needed large orders to be placed such that prices fell and local manufacturing was encouraged, and which would further allow prices to fall. We decided to test our approach in the southern part of the country, in Puducherry, a small union territory where the population was fully electrified. The concept which introduced was the Standard Offer Program. Under the Standard Offer Program, an intermediary would install all the lighting equipment and contract with the principal customer, which was the State Electricity Board, to share in the savings over an agreed period of time. The first step was the design of the Standard Offer Program. To do this, we engaged with the International Institute of Energy Conservation that developed the concept and the documentation necessary. This obtained the approval of the Puducherry Electricity Department, and then we engaged with the Energy Efficiency Services Limited, a leading Indian ESCO that would be the implementing agency. The PED and EESL signed a 10-year contract under which EESL would purchase and install the LED bulbs, and then PED would pay EESL on a periodic basis so that EESL could recover its costs. Implementation began with a robust public awareness program with media outreach and through information booths. And by October 2014, almost every home in Puducherry had an LED bulb installed. This generated lower electricity bills for households and enabled the Electricity Board to reduce peak demand from the household sector. And the Puducherry experiment was a great success. But this wasn't the end. This was just the beginning. EESL decided to take this program nationwide. First Andhra, then Rajasthan, then Delhi, then Himachal, and then Uttar Pradesh. The program grew across several states in the country. The tipping point came in January 2015 when the Prime Minister announced a national LED program to be managed by EESL. The PM reiterated the virtues of saving energy versus trying to produce more energy. The ambition was to replace 770 million light bulbs over 3 years. So far, more than 100 million light bulbs have been replaced under this scheme. This translated into avoided demand of 2,600 megawatts, rupees 140 million in electricity charges per day avoided, and 29,000 tons of carbon dioxide per day not generated. Prices, as expected, have dropped dramatically. From initial contract prices of over 300 rupees per LED bulb, current acquisitions are taking place at around 54 rupees, which is almost the same as the cost of a CFL bulb. And in the process, India has been able to create significant manufacturing capacity domestically for LED bulbs, generating lots of employment consistent with the Make in India program. As part of its NDCs committed at the Paris Climate Agreement recently, India has committed to reducing its emissions intensity. Once we hit the 770 million target for LED bulbs, it is estimated that we would have reduced power generation by 20 gigawatts, which would be a significant share of the total power produced in our country. Building on our initial efforts in Puducherry, these results have been made possible only by the strong support of the Government of India and EESL's excellent job in implementation. EESL has developed a dashboard that is available, providing real-time numbers on how the program is rolling out. The projected benefits of the LED scheme is the reduction of expected power load of 20,000 megawatts and a reduction in annual CO2 emissions of 79 million tons. It is worth remembering that even today, over 250 million people lack access to electricity. One of the first needs is lighting, and the provision of LED light bulbs will greatly enhance the ability of these individuals of accessing lighting once electricity reaches them.